Hello and good morning to you all. So, first of all, I need to apologise to you all for the fact that over the last few weeks I've not been putting out that many videos at all. My only excuse is that the things that are going on in my personal life, in my situation, have been kicking off quite a lot, and it has taken up a lot of my time. And for that reason, as I say, I've been absent. So my apologies to you all, and of course my thanks to you for your continued support. So in this video, I'm going to reread the poem by Rudyard Kipling called If. I've read it a number of times before in the year or so since I started making TikTok videos, and I'm going to use this as a way to illustrate the need to have something to draw strength on as we go through this fight, the fight that we should never have had to fight. So, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait but not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor walk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and yet treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life for broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make a heap of all your winnings, and risk it all on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and yet never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are done, and so hold on when there's nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. I've always loved that poem. I've always loved that poem, and over the last 14 months or so, it has been my rock and stay. Now, it hasn't stopped me roaring and crying or despairing, or even stopped me going out and bashing that oil drum, but it has helped me to realise how far I've come. Anyone familiar with the poem may have seen Michael Caine reading it on YouTube, and as an actor, as a celebrity, the lines, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, has resonated with him, because as a celebrity he's used to the press saying things about him that simply aren't true. Yesterday I watched a documentary about David Beckham. In it they touched upon the storm created when Spanish Vogue, in an interview with his wife, instead of accurately reporting her account of the challenges of relocating to another country, finding a home and schools for the children, they quoted her as saying she didn't like garlic. And there was a terrible storm created about that. And she was pilloried in the Spanish press. So for fathers like us, fighting the war we shouldn't have to fight, well, the whole poem sums up our struggle. Hearing that poem, I suspect that we will identify with particular lines within that poem especially, and we'll find certain sections of it especially relevant to our individual struggles. So what might speak to me in particular might not speak to you. In my struggle, the lines, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, hold special meaning to me. It describes very accurately how I feel when, having beaten one round of allegations, and I think that's it, it's all over, to have something else, something fresh thrown at me, and all the weary work to do again. We're all fighting a very similar battle. We are at different stages of that fight, of course, and not all of us will have the same exact experiences. And as devastating as these last 13 months, 14 months have been, especially since April, for me, I believe because if all of this hadn't happened, I wouldn't have become part of Dad's Matter. I wouldn't have come to know such inspirational and amazing people had I had, and I wouldn't have had the opportunity or the reason to climb Snowdon. This fight is brutal, taking a terrible toll on our mental and physical health. There have certainly been times when I felt I didn't have the will to hold on. We've all been there, and it's okay to feel like that. For me personally, I feel this poem is intended to teach us courage, fortitude, and stoicism. This poem was written in 1910 by Rudyard Kipling for his son John. Sadly, it's the same son for whom he wrote My Boy Jack. When I do turn to this poem for strength, I find it comforts me, gives me the strength sometimes not to go out and batter that old oil drum. But stoicism itself doesn't mean, however, shouldn't mean we don't have to fight. What's so frustrating is that as men, as fathers, our instinct is, of course, to go in like a battering ram to save our children. Unfortunately, we're not in that kind of fight. Our fight is a war of nerves. A waiting game, waiting for the next court date, the next appointment with a solicitor. We need that stoicism. And while it's understandable to need to have a physical way to blow off steam, giving into that every time only gives our exes, the social services, police, CAFCAS and so on, more ammunition. And since they are quite capable of inventing their own ammo, why help them? We're in a situation where the simple fact of having watched a film like Rear Window can be used as proof that we're actually going to do to our exes what Thorwald in that film did to his wife. Poetry, however well written, of course, may not be for everyone. But as a father, as a victim of domestic abuse, I urge you to find your own if. In the terrible struggle, we all need help. We need all the help we can get. Now, a month ago, Dad's Matter helped me to celebrate my darling little Millsbom's birthday. And as much as I've sobbed because I miss her so much, being part of Dad's Matter has helped me. It's helped me to strengthen my will, which says, hold on. To dig deep and find strength I didn't know I possessed. So for everyone watching, please, please, please come and find us on TikTok, on Facebook, on social media. I honestly believe we can help you to find your own if. It's only by finding that if we will have the strength within ourselves to continue this fight, because as hurt as we are, as broken as we sometimes feel, this is how our children will come to realize that their fathers weren't and aren't ordinary men. We're heroes. Thank you, and have a great week.